poem is dedicated to my grandmother, the last 3%, and my folks is here tonight. These days, when I sleep, I dream of a murder of crows wailing a morning song from their black throats just above a crowd of woolly-headed children beneath a Memphis balcony, newly dead. And God is watching, his image engraved in their bronze faces, their tightly coiled manes, their cedar skin. Martin is weeping in the same suit he was shot in, the bullet, a seed sprouting in his cheek, the exit wound in his shoulder, a forced blossom of marigolds whose petals pull at the feet of the children who take their own bare hands and dig blood-stained lilies from the gaping holes from their bodies. And the air doesn't move. I'm in the middle of the crowd, picturing every life and the days they died, and there is something slow and wet on the back of my neck when I awake. Sweat runs clean from my body like grease running free from the chicken frying on the kitchen stove. Auntie is loud over the browning meat. Her grandsons, having spent weeks holed up in cells across from one another at 8:50, and memory becomes a dead bird clawing in my chest as I remember the traffic stop. The glint off the man's badge, catching snatches of sun, his pale mouth demanding my aunt put the cigarette out or he would take me into police custody. I remember her eyes then. Watched all that fire she was famous for in our family smolder. Watched her burn slow from the rearview mirror into a heap of ash in the driver's seat. Growing up, I knew the various ways I could die and the various ways Molly would not. Her strands of blonde parted against the wind, her stepmother's abrasive tone the last time I crossed the street back from their home after a toy came up missing. When she urged I shouldn't come over for a while, how I knew exactly what that meant. My black body an illusion, a sleight of hand, the way thief managed to cut its way into also meaning black friend. A lesson taught from the stories of my grandma as a little ashy-kneed black girl on the family farm in Shreveport. How she had to pass the same tree her own uncle was lynched from, the cost he paid for maintaining his innocence against white men, the irony of whole 4 kids, marriage, and migration later. When my uncle, her youngest son, found a noose hanging from his UPS work locker, the grin on his white supervisor's face stretching all the way back to Louisiana, I knew I was born a body tethered to blood, to a silent barter made in the Lord's name, which is why I never had to learn that I was black. Only what made my body a question, something to shame, something akin to sin. You ask me to dream. I continue to watch the night grow teeth and fist. The night becomes a mouth with a hunger to match. I watch it take black sons and black daughters and disappears them. Takes their names and fills in the blank, criminal, thug, how these words fail to mask the stink of what is really meant. Coon, spook, nigger, how my impending master's degree still can't save me from a knife birthed in white fear. A fear so insidious, my black body is rendered invisible and whole beast. My body has grown weary of serving as your nightmare. My body is tired of your fear reimagined in my likeness. What scares you is not me, but yourself. How the nigger has always lived and been born inside you. If I dream at all, I dream of the shape of my body free from the figment of a white imagination. I dream the bullet, no longer a seed dispensed into the bodies of black people, fear meant to full fruition. In the depths of all these names we must keep on our tongues, that we must dare not forget. I dream my body no longer held responsible for white contempt or guilt, that my breath is no longer considered some bump in the night of a white mind. I dream of a justice system unafraid to indict itself. of a justice system that won't shoot me down in cold blood on a balcony, or if I'm walking, or when pulled over, or just standing. I dream of all of this with the same vigor Martin preached it with, still not foolish enough to close my eyes, to sleep away the reality of blood mixed into the sweet milk and honey promises of America that have long gone bitter in my mouth.